Hi guys, welcome back to Details and Hindsight. I am your host, Maddie Brown, and I'm so excited. We're going to be talking with Kaijah. She is actually a military brat, which I'm really excited about, on her journey to getting her PhD in naval history, and she actually has a lot to say about the military lifestyle from a kid's point of view. So today we're getting a different perspective than just the spouse side, but I'm actually really excited to hear about this. Kaijah, say hi.
Hello, everyone. I hope I can share a lot today.
It's gonna be a great day. So why don't you give us a little background on your dad and the military journey just kind of from the start.
I guess I could start with my parents met in college. He was going for sports. He wanted to be a coach and a history teacher. My mom was business admin, and then he broke his leg playing college football, and then his career changed. And he was like, I don't know what to do. So he joined the National Guard, and he did that while he was in college. And then when they graduated, he decided to join the Air Force. I was just talking with my mom about this yesterday. They got married on September 12th, and that following Monday they had to leave. So I think their wedding was on a Friday or a Saturday, and they left that following Monday. So
Where
they
was
didn't
their
even have a lot
first?
of time.
Where was their
Yes,
first base?
Vance Air Force Base. I was born there. It's in Oklahoma. It's like 20 minutes from the Kansas state line. It's very small. And from then we moved from Vance, and then he did a couple deployments overseas. And then we moved back home because my mom was a young mom. She had me when she was 24 when they got married. So we went back to Arkansas and lived with family while he was deployed. And then we moved to Louisiana. And then from Louisiana, we went to Japan. And then we landed in Florida, and he retired here.
Wow. So you've been along for the long haul for this journey, which is really cool. What was it like growing up with your dad being in the military, just as a young kid?
I think at that age, I thought everybody's parent was in the military. I thought everybody's mom or dad was this was what their job was. If your mom
Mm,
was a dentist, I was like, oh, she must be a dentist for the Air Force. Like it just made sense to me that everybody was in the bubble until
mm.
middle school, and I was like, everybody's parent isn't in the military until I started going to schools off base and realized, well, this isn't everybody's path, but it's a major part of everybody who's in my community's path. But I thought it was fairly cool for the most part. I loved moving. I loved making friends. Traveling is always a plus.
So I think a lot of parents or future parents are kind of worried that it's going to be really hard mentally on the kids. Was that the case for you?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm very outspoken as a person in general. So I think I didn't have a problem making friends. And then when you're a child who goes to a school full of military children, you're all going through the same thing. So
Mm.
it's kind of like, oh, your mom's deployed, well, so was mine, or my dad and your dad work together, and everybody kind of has the same life, essentially, albeit differently. But we all kind of are going through the same thing, so it's really easy. And my mom put me in dance at every base we went to. I did sports. We had swim lessons, so it was you had to make friends because you were doing something every day of the week, whether that be the church youth group, the youth group choir. Like you were seeing people everywhere on base, so you were making friends, even if you didn't want to.
Um, when did you kind of realize your dad wasn't going to be around a lot? Was there a moment that you were like, "Oh, this is odd"?
I think early on, I recognized
Mm.
that whatever shift he was working or whatever, if he was being deployed or oh well, your dad might be here for your band concert, or he might not be able to show up. It's kind of in the air, and
Mm.
then I was kind of like, I guess this is just part of it. And once again, going to school with people whose parents are in the same position, I wasn't the only one whose dad wasn't at the band recital. Like there was a lot of parents missing. I mean, that's sad, but I mean,
Yeah.
we at least we were able to see at least one parent in the crowd and be like, okay, things are okay, we're good. Somebody's in the crowd here for us.
I love that. How, from your mom's side of you, how did she make this season of your life as easy as possible? Or what were things that you noticed later on that you're like, oh wow, she really did the did the most to make sure you guys were
She is my favorite person in the world. I don't know how she made it look so easy. I was telling her,
Mm.
I was like, was being a mom this hard with two kids? Like, and being alone for a majority of it. And she was like, I did what I had to do. I went to work. I made sure you guys were at your practices or at your games and recitals, and we just made a new routine. And I don't know how she did
Mm,
it. She's a very prayerful woman. I think her strength and her faith has kept her. But like, I don't know. I feel like that generation of military moms, like the late '90s into the early 2000s,
yeah.
I think they might have handled it a little bit differently. I wish there was like a book full of like tips and tricks from those wives to give to the new wives to be
Yeah.
like, hey, like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. No, I would love that book. Oh, so growing up, which was like your favorite base?
It's so easy. I loved living in Japan. I think that's where I made the bulk of my friends and had the
Mm,
most like immersive cultural experiences, obviously because we were living overseas. So it was incorporated into our curriculum and it was mandatory and it was fun. It was fun to explore. And I think living over there really shaped me into who I am today and why I want to give back to the military brats now.
so you mentioned you had a sister. What's that age gap look like?
Oh, it's a very big age gap. We're 8 years apart.
Wow. See, my little sister and I were 7. So
Yeah,
I
my
get that.
my parents and I not me, but my parents did experience a stillbirth in between me and my sister when we were stationed in Louisiana.
Oh,
So my sister is our rainbow baby.
that's so sweet.
And
Aw.
she is like we're total opposites. Like I think I'm pretty extroverted sometimes, but she is in everything, plays every sport, wants to do and volunteer, and I'm just like, girl, how do you have time?
Got yin and yang over here. We talked a little bit earlier when we first met about just like the differences in between like your childhood versus her childhood. What would you say were like the biggest differences between your experience and her experience from what you've like observed?
I would say she's been here her whole life. Where my dad retired at Eglin in Florida.
Mm,
We moved here when she was 1. She's been
wow.
here her entire life. Um,
How
minus
long have
being
you guys
born
been in England
overseas.
then?
Uh, she
I
turns
guess it's been a
19.
minute.
She turned 19 this year, so we're coming up on that. So
Wow. Okay.
long time. Yeah,
Wow.
he retired in 2011. So yeah, and we just decided to stay. But she's been able to go kindergarten through 12th grade
Mm.
with some of the same friends. I never had that, but like I'm so glad she's had like we have pictures of her and people from kindergarten and we have pictures of them when they graduated. So I think that's a pretty cool experience that not every military connected child gets to have.
That's so fair. Now kind of going into the downsides of being a military kid, what were some of your struggles like throughout that whole journey?
I think the biggest one probably was like after my dad retired. It was like a big trend for after people retire to take jobs overseas, like in Dubai and Qatar and move their families over there. And
Oh, wow.
I was in 6th grade and I was kind of like, middle school is important. I want to stay here. And my dad was like, okay, so do you guys want to come or not? Like, it's up to you, Kaijah. Like, you're going to be in middle school. Do you want to stay or have all of us move over there? And at the time, I was like, of course I want to stay. Like, I'm about to start middle school. Like, this is the most important
This
thing
is my hierarchy
in
here.
my life. But
Yeah.
sometimes I wish like I would have chosen for us to maybe experience living over there as a family not connected to the military. I think that would have been interesting to see how it would have
Yeah.
played out if we would have still been over there. Because I have friends whose dads did that and they haven't came back. They have
Wow.
maintained over in Dubai and they went to college overseas. And I'm just like, my life could have been really different.
Sick. Well, it was really sweet of your dad to let you have that discussion. I know sometimes it's not the case for a lot of um military kids. Was it hard having to, like, start over a lot, like, with new friendships and stuff? I know you're kinda plugged in real quick. Was that something that came easy for you, or was that something that you had to kinda learn on the way?
I think it came pretty easy. I mean, the military is, I mean, especially with my experience with the Air Force, everybody PCS is like on a similar schedule. I don't know if you noticed that, but when we moved here, it was 5 other people in my grade that were also moving to bases here, whether that
Okay.
be Eglin or Herbert Field, or there's some. I have a friend who moved to Panama City, but that's like 45 minutes from here. But everybody got stationed in like the same area. And same with other kids who got sent to Virginia in the DC area. So it was kind of like we were all moving together, even though we kind of ended up at different schools. We were still able to meet up and have something that felt like home in this new home.
Consistent. Wow. Well, that's really cool. What's something that you would say about being a military kid that you've gained that you wouldn't have necessarily gained had you had a more traditional upbringing?
I think perspective on different careers and sacrifice in that aspect. I think people outside of the military life like view their careers as like stability, like, oh, I'm going to be a dentist. I know where I'm going to be practicing at. My kids are going to live here. We're looking long term. And now I have that perspective like, oh, like so and so's job is EOD. Well, I know they're not going to be here for long and their kids are going to be able to experience different people and diverse populations. So I think I can look at different career paths and not necessarily judgmental, but I can have a different scope on I know why you chose this lifestyle and why you didn't. Like I
Mm,
understand why your dad chose to be in the military, but I also understand why you're choosing not to have anything to do with it at all.
mm. That was really well said. It's so ironic to me that your upbringing was with Air Force, but you dived into naval history. You
I
want to
did.
tell me a little bit about how that came to be?
Okay, after I finished my bachelor's, I was like, I know I want to be a historian. I know I want to focus on the military. I was about to start my master's program and I was like, okay, I need to really think about what kind of historian I want to be. And I need to figure that out fast because my thesis is going to be on that. So
Mm,
I reached out to the local Air Force Armament Museum here at Eglin. They didn't email me back. I would go to the museum in person and the historian would never be there. And I just took that as a sign to maybe email somebody else. And
yeah.
luckily we have and luckily we do have the museum in Pensacola, which is not that far. So I emailed them. She emailed me straight away and was like, "What do you need? Do you want to just be a volunteer? Do you want it to be like a internship? I'll write your school. We have opportunities that you can be a part of to see if like this is this side of naval history that you want to do in like the museums." So I've been a volunteer with them for about 2 years. And it's been really fun helping. I have a homeschool academy on Monday. If anybody's watching this from Pensacola, we host those once a month. And you'll get
That's
to
cool.
hang out with me and the homeschool kids.
I was homeschool. I probably would have joined one of those stuff. I was back in Denver, but my mom would make me do that stuff all the time. So that's really cool.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. Some of them are so funny. And it's a different group every time. We have 60 kids on Monday.
Wow.
I know.
Do you think like the homeschooling like world is like exploding?
I would say with our group, we normally have like 20 kids who are our regular kids. And I would say half of them are connected to military families and half of them are just kids who love to come to the museum and who are obsessed with airplanes.
Love that.
But I think it's getting big, especially with families who whose dads are pilots. They move really a lot. So I think it's
Yeah.
more flexible for their lifestyle to at least while they're little to keep it at home.
Yeah, that's fair. So what what's been your favorite part so far about learning about the naval history? I'm sure you have so many stories you could share with us. What's just like one story that like has always sat with you and you're like, "Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe this."
The story of Calvin Graham. He was 14 years old when he enlisted, well, falsely forged his mother's signature and he fought in the war. Yes. There's a whole movie. He has his own movie. Like
He
he was
does?
thrown in jail. Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty sad. His life is a very sad story in hindsight, like looking at what happened after he was court-martialed and put in jail and he went through a terrible alcoholism and he had to fight to get his veterans benefits because he wasn't supposed to be a 14-year-old fighting in the war in the
Wow.
first place. So it took him a long time. And if I'm correct, I believe he got them, but he did die young.
Ugh,
It was very
that's
sad.
crazy. Um, is that like a common thing? And like you have the history, so I'm curious now. Is that like a common thing in the Navy from like back in the days? Like,
Well, yes,
no.
yes, but like not that young. It was like
Interesting.
a lot of like 16, 17-year-olds, we're almost 18, we're almost of age, but
Yeah.
he was like the youngest recorded that he was a baby. I think if you watch the movie's really fun. Like they're doing like his medical exam and the guy's like, "Are these your 12-year-old molars?" And he's like, "No, no." And it's like, yes, I love that story.
Not
That's
slim.
probably one of my favorites. It's like, what would you do if you had a 14-year-old son and you find out like he went to war?
Oh, I'd lose it. I'd be calling every general that I know and be like, by chance, is there anything like fun facts that like you don't think a lot of people know about from like the Navy history that you're like, ooh, this is a good one, or like people don't know this, but it's wild.
I would say like how much money they spend a day or for any branch, not just the Navy, like because my daytime boring job is finance for one of the squadrons on Eglin. And you would be surprised how much money we spend a month on food for the
How
airmen.
much do we
It's,
spend?
well, we only feed, our squadron has like 600 students right now, and our grocery bill last month was over $90,000. And it's not a confidential or private access. Anybody who's watching this, I'm not breaking OPSEC. I have Lackland's bill as well, and they spend like $5 million a month.
Just on food? Like that's
That's
it.
on
Like
food.
that's just wow. That always
Yeah.
is mind-boggling to me.
And I'm like, this is crazy. But I mean, like, we have to feed them. So they need their fuel to do their jobs.
I mean, yeah,
But
they need to be fed.
it's wild.
Like, I'm glad it's a good budget. It's good to
Right.
know. Oh, that's wild. So what keeps you going during like the long nights learning and everything and trying to um continue to build to your PhD? Like what's your motivation?
Student loan debt.
That would do it.
That is my no. That's partially my motivation because I'm too far ahead to stop. Thankfully, I graduated undergrad with zero, so all of my student debt has came from my master's and not my PhD.
Okay.
But I mean, other than that, it's just I have to make this happen. Like, there's nothing else I want to do, so I kind of have to keep going. I have homework due tonight that I'm avoiding, and I don't really like want to do it, but
Don't worry, you had to film a podcast so you could just
this is way more fun, trust me. This is way more entertaining. I try to tell people who want to go into higher education, like once you get past your master's, it's just me by myself teaching myself, and it's just
Wow.
like there are very like loose guidelines in PhD programs, but it's a lot of, am I supposed to be doing this? Well, maybe I should be doing this, but I don't know if I'm on the right track. And your professor's like, you might be on the right track. Like, I don't know.
We'll see.
That's how it is.
Wow. So what's your dream job then with this doctorate coming up?
Oh, I'm gonna be a professor at the Naval Academy one day. I'm speaking that into existence. That's my dream job.
You heard it here, folks.
And that's just gonna pay off my student debt. Thank you, Uncle Sam, in advance.
So is that like public speaking or is that like classes? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I'd be a professor at the school. So they have like naval history classes, maritime history. My minor in undergrad is in maritime history. So that works out. They have like regular history classes that I like the colleges have, like American, the Revolutionary War. So I could be teaching any one of those. But I think it's a pretty solid career. I mean, regular professors, I'm not sure if you know how much like a regular, say
I
like at
didn't
the
go to college, so
university.
this is new information for me.
Oh, perfect. So like regular professors, say like at the University of Georgia, for instance, assistant professors could be making like 50 to 70 a year. Tenured professor could be making like 70 to 90. If you teach
Oh,
at a
wow.
service academy, you're making base pay like 117 up to like 170
Wow.
a year.
Dang.
So I'd rather be paid well for my torture right now.
You know what? That's fair. You're paying your dues, and that's important.
Yes. I'm not going through
Oh,
all of this for fun.
no. No. Oh my goodness. Well, this is awesome. Um, Overall, from being a little dependa kid, or sorry, military brat to
I like that
now
though.
depend. You can tell I'm on my last brain cell. I had like a big work day, so I'm like I'm
I like
uh, dependa kid. That's a new one. Uh, I'm gonna get like canceled for that. Um, what has like impacted you the most throughout this whole military and now into like your job life? What's impacted you the most, I would say, or ask?
I guess the people. I mean, I've met a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people and getting to hear different perspectives on everybody's experience because although we're living the same life, like nobody's experience is exactly going to be the same. Like I've met military brats who heavily dislike being in the military lifestyle and want nothing to do with it. I've met people that are like, I want to be a Marine. Like my dad was a Marine. I live this lifestyle. I was born on a Marine Corps base. This is all I know. And then
This is
I've met
life.
people, right? And then I've met people in the middle. So I think,
Mm.
and then even now at work, majority of people I work with are wives of retired members, or they were in the military themselves,
Oh wow.
or or their husbands are in still. So I mean, it's kind of everybody's still in it.
It never really leaves, does it?
No, not even
No.
if you try.
So you were mentioning to me a little bit about you write child books, children's
I
books?
do.
Tell me a
I
little about
do.
that.
I do. I have them. I have 4 of the 6 in front of me. I'm waiting on my
Share and
samples
tell. This is I'm excited.
for my
Show and tell.
last 2 to come in. So I have a business called the Brat Brigade, and it started off as like me getting into seeing if I wanted to teach K-12 while I'm getting this degree.
Yeah.
So I have like online classes that they can take that are self-paced. All the work is there. I have a lot of homeschool kids that I teach through that because I don't have to meet them. All the work is there. I can grade their papers via Canvas and they have fun. And then I was
Mm.
like, what about if I write books? I really like to read. So
Oh.
my first book was I don't know if you can see it. It's
The Brat
titled Wings Over Pensacola because obviously
Oh.
I do volunteer on NAS Pensacola and it just follows the lead boy and he just moved here and he's making friends and it's a great story. This is I think I'm biased. This is my favorite probably because it's the first one.
Yeah.
You know, I have one for the Army brats. So they're all set at
Wow.
spaces. They're middle grade readers, so it's for like 8 to 12-year-olds that really that age where it's really important for them to see somebody who's going through the same thing they are in like literature. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not that many movies about military brats, but at least now we have books about them. I have a couple books. But this one is
Oh.
set at Fort Novosel. It's now called Fort Rucker again. So maybe next year it'll be named Fort Novosel again and then go back to Fort Rucker. Um, but it just follows
Just
right back and forth. And
base here is very similar. It went from like a really complicated back to its original name to complicated, and I was like, I can't keep up.
yeah, when this first came out last September, I like had a couple PR packages I sent to a couple people, and I was like, I know the base has been renamed, but I've already printed these. And when I
You're
was
like, it's
writing it, it was
vintage.
still named this. So I was like, I'm not changing it. I was like, I'm not
Oh,
changing it. And then I have one for the Air Force, and it's set at Yokota Air Force Base. So this one is a little bit more about me. A lot of the stories
oh,
and like experiences are like based off of field trips I went on and things we did at my school on base.
I love that.
Yep.
Which base is that based out of?
Yokota.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And then I
Oh,
have my Coast Guard one. My Coast Guard sample came in. I'm so excited. It's so cute.
that's such a cute
Um,
one.
yes, anchored in Kodiak. This one is based out of Alaska. And then my Marine Corps and my Space Force are still being sent. Hopefully I get them next week. But each branch follows a different child I try to make it fair. We have 3 girls and 3 boys to make it so each lead character is a different gender to make it fair. And it just follows their story, making friends, very like generic storylines. Like, I'm new, you're new, we're going to get through this together.
Yeah.
Let's find out how friendship can keep us strong while our parents are away and we're moving across the world. And I have a lot of fun reading them. So even myself, it brings
Oh,
back a lot of memories.
so sweet. So what motivated you to create these?
Well, as a kid, my favorite movie was Tiger Cruise. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I don't think I have.
Watch it.
Okay,
You
I'll
have to
put that
watch
on my
it. You have to
watch
watch
list
it.
for sure.
It's my favorite. So Disney Channel came out with it in like 2001,
Tiger
2004.
Cruise. Okay.
It might be 2004, but it's like set in 2001, right at the same time of 9/11.
Okay.
And the Navy has kind of stopped doing Tiger Cruises. I'm not sure if you know what a Tiger Cruise is. So it's like, say your husband is in the Navy and he is deployed on a ship. His deployment's almost over. There's like, say, like 7 days left on his deployment. And you guys have a niece who wants to go visit to see what he does. She can go, or like his parents can go, but like no significant others. So, like the grandparents, the nieces, nephews, cousins, they can go those last like 7, 8 days with them and
Wow.
see what they
Okay.
do and go. It's, I wish they would do them. I know some squadrons do, but not everybody does them, obviously, because of safety. That's what the movie's based off of. And this girl doesn't want to be called a military brat. She's so against it. Her dad is a very important man for the Navy where they are. And
Mm,
she's like, I don't want to go on this Tiger Cruise. Like, I just want to have a normal life. And the mom is
yeah.
like, give it this chance. Like, let's go on this one and see how it goes. And she's
Yeah.
so anti being called a military brat. And then she realizes, like, when 9/11 happens in the movie, she's like, my dad is very important. Like, he's helping these young sailors who are 18 and 19 make it through this hard part of their life. And then
Yeah.
she accepts being a military brat, and it's really great. And it's my favorite movie to this day.
I love that. So how do you come up with these different books? Like, is this just like, is there ways you get inspired? Like, how does that come about?
Oh, it took me, I would say with the first two, Wings Over Pensacola and Echoes of Army Aviation, it took me about a year to, and I would say the story came first. It took me a year to really settle down, like, who I wanted the characters to be named. I wanted to make sure they weren't named after anybody I know.
Okay.
So I was
No,
like,
yeah,
let
well,
me,
that takes time.
I was like, do I know somebody with this first name and last name or like anything close? 'Cause I don't want them to think I'm writing about their life and like putting them on blast for everybody to read.
Sarah.
Right. I was like, let me choose like common names, but like not too common. So a lot of the characters are named after like their last names, for instance, are in reference to important people in that branch. So I was able to like look up some important people for like each branch and be like, okay, I really like that last name. Let me
Yeah.
use it in this book. So that person, that child has that last name. And it was a really fun time writing, making sure all the stories flowed and
Yeah.
made sense. And I had a parent tell me who bought one of my books, like, I haven't seen a glossary in the back of a kid's book before, but I put one in there
Oh,
just in
wow.
case like kids don't know certain things. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's too late, but I have a glossary in the back of the book with
Wow.
different military terminology in case a kid doesn't know what something stands for. They can
That's
be able to
so
find it
smart.
in the back of the book so they can read it with
I
the
might
full
need it.
context.
Oh.
Yes. I would say
Oh,
finding boy names is very hard. I was like,
really?
yes. I was like, let me find some boy names that make sense that kind of fit into. So, but it's been fun and figuring out what I want the cover. And I don't know if you noticed on the covers of all of the books, you can't see the kids' faces.
Yeah.
Like they're all turned around and he's not on the cover of his book, but that's okay. But like you can't see their faces, and I did that for a reason. So if a kid picks this up and they just so happen to have blonde hair, they could be like, "Oh, like that's me." I didn't want them like to see a character and not be able to see themselves. So they can see
Yeah.
themselves because they can't see whose face this is. So they can pretend all day
Uh,
long that that's them when they read them.
that's so cool. And like, do you try to keep it as like realistic as possible?
Yes. And that's the hardest part. I was talking with the teacher. I was like, how far can I go? Because I was like,
Yeah.
sometimes military children can experience death and parents losing limbs. And I was like, I don't think I want to be the one to talk about that in the books. So like
Mm.
we hit some pretty emotional topics like parents moving and then like getting uprooted, but I don't tap into that side of things. Excuse me, because I don't know how to make that kid friendly.
Yeah, that's so hard, and kids don't quite understand. So just no, that's very brave of you, though. Oh, that's so cool. um, do you? What is your plan for your books in general? Is there like a goal you have in mind for them? Like, what's your vision for this?
I don't know. I would love to be able to have it be accessed at every base that has like children there. I mean, which is everywhere around the world. But I mean, as of right now, I think I have a pretty good clientele in my area. I think I've sold books to everybody at my mom's job. One
Oh
of her
God.
coworkers bought books for her grandchildren, and they are like 1 years old. So they're gonna have books one day, whenever they decide to learn how to read. The month of the military child is next month, so hopefully I can speak at a couple schools locally and really try to get it involved for the younger kids. I know people are like, "Well, what about the teenagers?"
Yeah.
You can still the teenagers can still read the books. They'll probably see themselves and like inside the book. Let me find a prompt. I have like little journal pages where they can write inside the book. I don't know if they can be. Let me see. Ooh,
Back up. Just oh wow, that perfect. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So you have prompts in there too. Oh
yes, and it
wow.
asks them like if like when you move to a new school, how did you handle it? Like what advice
Yeah.
would you give the character in this chapter since they're dealing with that?
That is so cool.
They're able to
That's
write
really
inside the book.
thoughtful of you.
Yeah. So they can
Oh,
get their feelings out. Even if they don't want to talk to their parents about it, there's different checkpoints in each book where they can read the prompts and be like, I haven't even thought about this. So they can write it down with their little cute handwriting.
I love that. Kind of going into the back to the military brat world. What do you think is like their biggest struggle right now? Now that you've been kind of working for them, you've seen your side of it, you've seen your sister's side, and now you're kind of seeing then this next season of them. What do you think their biggest struggle is currently as kids?
I would say there's not a lot of like activities where they can congregate together.
Okay.
I would say when I was younger, there was always something going on base, whether they had the hangars open and the airmen were showing us inside the planes or like special events on base where the kids could all come together. Like I
Hmm.
know my base has one next month. Obviously, I'm pretty sure every base has one next month for the month of the military child, but it was happening more often and more frequently, especially at the schools. Like we used to have career day where the parents who worked on base came to the schools and showed what they did on base. And it was really immersive, so it was more connected. But I feel like now there's not that much happening. Like I know they have like
Yeah.
um military school counselors at the school, but they only like talk and see them like once a week, if that. But
Mm.
like I wish there was more that the bases were doing. And I know right now is a really interesting time and they kind of can't do that. But maybe after we get
Yeah.
past all of this, they can
Yep.
open stuff back up if your base allows. I know my base will probably not do that because we have a lot of top secret things, but we have other bases close next to us. So I'm hoping somebody somewhere will be like, let's throw a kids' day once a month
Yeah.
where we let them see the planes. We talk to them. I don't know, give out hot dogs. I don't know what kids eat nowadays. And just like
Yeah.
have them be more immersed into this lifestyle. Cause I feel like a lot of people are, I mean, and I get people are signing up their kids for stuff off base, but there's like youth soccer teams on base. And then we have libraries on base. And I feel like parents aren't signing their kids up for those activities on base anymore.
obviously I'm not a parent, I don't wanna speak on behalf of that, but,
Not either,
I'm sure
but knock on wood, I don't wanna be one yet.
yeah.
Not yet.
Um, is there words of advice or encouragement you'd wanna give to the current or just future moms out there?
I would say to put your kid in everything. I think that's what worked with my mom and me and my sister. She made sure we were in, if there was a Girl Scout troop on base, we were signed up for that specific one that somebody was running on base. So we
Mhm.
could be around other little girls who were going through the same thing. And I think that really helps I know being connected in your community outside of the base is also a big factor, but making sure you're connected in your community on base is also equally as important. If you can go to church on base, if your kid goes to daycare on base, a lot of daycares on base hold events, go to them. If they hold a parents' night out where they'll watch the kids from like 6 to 8, take advantage of it. They'll be able to see their friends outside of regular daycare hours. The libraries on base, I don't know, anything to me that has to deal with on base, like, we have a pool at our base. Swim lessons, sign them up for swim lessons on base. They'll meet kids who are also military affiliated, and they'll be able to make that connection. Because sometimes making friends off base is not the same. Like, they might understand, but they don't necessarily understand completely.
Interesting. Just, like, words of encouragements for the moms that are like, "What am I doing this right?"
Yeah. I would say to include them in the choices as much as you can.
Mm,
I would say I was raised by my mom and my dad, like, they weren't gonna make me do anything, like, if I didn't wanna do it, but if it was, like, a major family decision, they also made sure to include my sister and I
mm.
to get our point of view and how we felt about it. I mean, obviously, when the military moves you somewhere, you really can't do that, but if it
Right.
had to do with, like, schools once we got there or different activities we might be interested in, instead of just signing them up for, like, reach out to them and be like, hey, like, there's this and this at this next space we're moving to, what would you be interested in doing? And you can even do that with the younger kids. Like, when I was younger, my parents would put me in every sport the base offered for whatever season just to let me try it, and
Mm.
if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. But it was such an easy way to make friends because I was like, "Oh, you were on my soccer team and now we play T-ball together." So it was easy to like I had birthday parties every weekend in Japan. But, like, it's so much easier to make friends and, like, you might not like it. I was not a very sports girl, still really not, but I made friends eventually, and it was fun to talk and see people multiple times a week outside of school. So really just try to include them, to the moms out there and the dads. If
Yeah.
you're the spouse that's at home and your wife is in the
Yes.
military,
Yeah.
try to include them. I think some parents don't want to, like, they're like, "I don't need to ask my kid if we wanna move," but, like, I think when my parents asked me that in middle school, that was a really,
Mm.
like, checking in on my feelings on how I felt about
Made
it,
you
so
feel more part of the family.
yes, like an adult, even though I was 11 and was like, "No."
And they still could
I
have done
was
whatever, but they made my feelings feel hurt.
and it happens more often than you think. I've in high school, I knew a couple girls whose dads were, like, at their 20-year mark, and they were like, "I really don't wanna extend here because then I'm gonna have to stay longer." And the
Yeah.
moms were like, "Okay, well, you can go retire and we'll stay here, and then after she finishes her senior year, we'll move up back to where we came from." So there are a lot of parents that I think more common in this lifestyle that make sacrifices like that. I've had friends who have even stayed behind when their parents got orders overseas because they didn't want to move to them. I
Yeah.
think for like a regular person would be like, I would never let my kid stay behind, but it's like that's like the one thing you can let them have to themselves is to finish at their high
Finish
school.
strong. Yeah. No, I totally understand that. So, words of encouragement, we're gonna build off this. If you were to talk to, middle school you about what's coming up and all the hardship and all the growth that you have done so far, what's some words of advice you give yourself growing
Um,
up?
keep going. I mean, I'm a very like headstrong person, and I just have this like mindset that I'm gonna succeed no matter what comes my way. So I think I would just tell myself to keep thinking that way because it's gonna lead you to a lot of opportunities. and a lot of cool friends. I would probably tell myself, I don't know, to be more social because sometimes you can get a little focused and not want to hang out with anybody and do your arts and crafts, which is fun. But like, hang out with more people. I probably would have told myself that. And yeah, just, to, I don't know, maybe go to bed at a decent time.
That's
I
a
would
good
probably
one.
tell myself that too.
Yeah, yeah, I should. Yeah, I'll put that on my list.
Now that I'm older, I was like, when you turn 26, does everything just break down? Like, I feel like my body is just reached its point.
Yeah. Wait, what's your birthday?
June 18th.
Oh, I'm July 30th. We're like a month apart.
Oh, Slay,
Oh,
you're a Cancer.
Leo.
Oh,
I stuck in there.
good. My sister's a Cancer. Hers is July 22nd.
Okay, yeah, I think the cutoff's like July 26th.
It might
I know
be.
it's close, but I remember I hit that Leo mark and I was like, okay, cool. Like that makes more sense.
Right? Right.
Uh. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about this. I'm sure a lot of people could gain a lot of perspective from this. I know sometimes when we keep going down the spouse route, we kind of lose sight on other perspectives. So I'm always excited to bring on a new voice just to see a different angle from this point of view, because that is the beauty about the military world, is that there is always a different side to something, and I'm
Right.
always excited to kind of learn more. So thank you so much for like educating us on this. I really appreciate that.
Of
Um,
course.
is there any last words you want to put out there for anybody?
No, just to give the military brat some grace. A lot of them, especially, I mean, I can foresee now with the current world events, a lot of them might be going through some really tough times, just to like give
Mm,
them some grace on what they might be experiencing. And especially if their parents are about to get deployed, just
yeah.
if they want to eat ice cream for breakfast, maybe let them do it that one time.
Give it a minute.
Just let them have their ice cream for breakfast, and
Was
it'll.
your dad ever deployed when you were?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
A lot more when I was younger, I would say, until like maybe elementary school. That's when it all kind of happened because like that's when the brood of our Iraq, Afghanistan stuff was happening. So yeah, he was gone
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
lot of
okay,
it.
yeah.
I'm
Wow.
like, when was I born? I was born in 99. So yeah, like that was around the time all that crap was happening. Um, but yeah. And then like his job overseas after he retired, he was gone
Mm,
for 6 months and then he would come home for 30 days and then go for 6 months and come home for 30 days. But like he wasn't in a war zone then. He was in Dubai. So
yeah,
it was a little
Dubai
different.
sounds nice.
I know, right? I
I'd
should
like
have
to
moved
see
over
it.
there. Ugh, middle school Kaijah, you should have chose to move over there.
Everything happens for a reason.
It does. It does. Everything does happen for a reason.
And I think this is totally cool that you're like what you're doing with the whole PhD and everything. So please, when do you graduate?
That's a great question. Depends on how my examination class goes this
Okay.
semester. I don't know. It's kicking my butt. So it's right now. It's fall 2027, but I don't know. If I'm feeling spring 2028. So
No,
they
we're putting
take 5 to 7
2027. We're gonna
years.
put it out there. You're gonna finish
Yeah,
strong, and it's gonna be good. And I
it's
can
gonna be
totally see
great.
that.
I just don't want to rush myself. I think people forget like you can slow down. Like this is your race against you. You're not racing anybody else. And I kind of want to enjoy my time. I'm about to be 27. I kind of
Yeah.
want to have free time because I think I haven't taken a break since I graduated high school, and I kind of want to
Yeah.
maybe lessen my load, like maybe take like 1 or 2 classes a semester. So then I have time for a life because I took 3 this semester and I don't really have time
Yeah.
to to breathe. So I think that's also important for anybody listening who's in school. Don't forget to have fun. Having fun is very important.
Well said. I probably would have done the same thing if I got to school. I probably would have just kept going. Well, I wish you well on this journey on that. I'm excited to see how this plays out for you. Tell us where we can find you social wise. Instagram, TikTok.
My Instagram is just my first and last name. It's Kaijah Bell. I'm pretty wild on there. You get to see like my day in the life, me forgetting lunch, at work and airplanes. I'm a big photographer, so you'll see that this weekend if you choose to follow me on my Instagram. My TikTok is Kaijah the Historian, and my books can be found on thebratbrigade.com.
And I'll have all this information in the description of this podcast wherever you're watching this. So that way you can just hit the links and just go check Kaijah out. Oh, this was so sweet. If you have not yet already, hit the follow button or subscribe button wherever you're watching this podcast. It allows us to build a better military community and learn more along the way. There's always something we can learn as a military spouse myself, but brats and every other area in the military world. It's not just spouses. So if you have not yet, hit that follow, hit the subscribe. It helps me build this community stronger and brighter. It's great. Yeah, well, I'm gonna pray us out and then we'll kind of get out of here. So, dear Lord,
Alrighty.
I am so grateful for Kaijah. She is such a sweetheart and she is so well spoken. It's amazing to hear what she has to say about just being a military kid and how that's impacted her into this in her future now and her current situation into her future. But I'm just praying for a strong finish for her PhD and just to continue to guide her along the way. Lord, I'm just so grateful that she gave us the opportunity to speak on what she knows. And it's been an awesome day so far. So thank you so much, Lord. And we are so grateful and we wish everybody well moving forward. In your name, amen.
Amen.
So awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not yet, like I said earlier, hit that follow, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.